Hello, this is a video about Appster's Agile development methodologies. We'll spend a few videos going through looking at the Appster Agile methodologies, how we use them, why we use them, how they benefit to the customer, and how they help Appster deliver great products. In order to understand why we use Agile, it's a good idea to look at recent history and understand how software development has traditionally been done and the sort of challenges that software development has typically encountered. In the beginning, we have a client. And the client has an idea, and they want someone to help them realize that idea. Software development traditionally came from an engineering standpoint. And the belief was that if you capture as much information about the user's requirements at the beginning of the process, then you would have a complete picture of what it is that you need to build. Taking that complete picture, you would then design and develop the software. And once the software development has been completed, you put it through some sort of quality assurance and testing process. And then once that was completed, the product could be shipped and everyone would be happy. Now that's a great idea. I mean, it sounds sensible. It's an easy thing to explain to clients, and it follows a linear process and ultimately results in a happy ending. It is, however, completely and utterly wrong. This process doesn't work, and there are a number of different reasons why. The first reason is that it assumes that the client has a complete understanding of what it is that they want. The requirements gathering process is an unknown. It can take quite a bit longer to gather requirements for the client. The client may go through a number of different iterations in the process to really understand what it is that they're requesting to have built. And even after an extensive requirements gathering process has been completed, there can still be question marks around those requirements. In fact, the client may not even really still have a full understanding or appreciation of what they're going to get. And so the dev process will start. Now, there are several ways development can happen. It can either be a throw over the wall, here are the requirements, go and build it kind of dev process, which is often the case with outsourced third-party companies, in which case the client won't even know what they're getting until the very end. Alternatively, we might be a little bit more progressive, and we might give the client a view of what they're going to be receiving partway through the process. This typically is the first time the client really starts to get what it is that they're asking to be built. It's these moments where they might have an aha moment, and they might understand in more detail exactly what it is that their software is going to do or how it needs to behave in a real-world situation. At that point, the client might decide, uh-oh, I want to change something. This isn't quite what I want. I haven't understood this. You didn't explain it to me properly. I didn't realize. You should have known better. These are all the sort of comments that typically come from clients during this phase. And so this can have an effect on the development process, make it even longer. There has an effect on the requirements because we need to go back to the requirements and make changes to them. Feed those back into the dev process. This all adds time to the development. It also means that any testing that we had planned at this point has now either needs to be dispensed with or added onto the project. This means the client is unhappy. They're unhappy because things have taken longer. They're also unhappy because invariably there's additional cost involved. And so who pays for that cost? That's a very good question. The client expects the development company to pay for it because we have given them a fixed price and a fixed time. And they're expecting the scope to remain as it was when we spec'd it out. So as you can see, particularly for larger projects where there's a lot more risk and a lot more unknowns, then this process is incredibly flawed. In the end, it produces inferior software that is sometimes not properly tested, or it ends up taking much longer than anticipated at much increased cost.